What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and we are here to, again, react to the newest Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales trailer. We're going to look through it. We're going to figure out what's going on, and I'm just going to talk about it, what we saw from it, what I expect from the movie, from this trailer. We learned a bunch of new tidbits from this trailer, so we're going to talk all about that. I obviously welcome your feedback. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the trailer, any theories, anything at all. You guys have been doing awesome at that. We love talking to you, so let me know what you thought of it. But let's jump right in. So we learned a lot of backstory in this trailer, a ton of backstory. We understand, in a way, kind of vaguely, how Salazar becomes how he is. So, you know, he wasn't always like that. Obviously, he was a normal person, and you know, we see several scenes of him on his ship, captaining his men, and he comes upon a pirate, and this pirate is Jack Sparrow. And now I like this, that a lot of movies recently have been doing this CG thing, recreating younger faces, and I know sometimes it gets weird. And we talked about this for Rogue One, that, you know, it was different looking. Some people really hated it. I understand it. I was okay with it. I wouldn't want to see it in a future Star Wars. I don't think this is going to be in this movie that much. It's going to be a very small scene of young Jack Sparrow, and I think it looks really good. He doesn't look like super young, but he's clearly a younger pirate, and you can tell he's still a pirate. He still has his compass, and what looks to be like he's kind of the captain. Now, this could have been right when he started. We know that Davy Jones brought the Black Pearl up from the sea for Jack. It could have been probably right after that, because he's young, and if you go in like the book series that they've written about that kind of stuff, he looks pretty young, kind of towards the start of his journey. And what happens is Salazar gets ripped up. Now, we don't necessarily see how that happens, but him and his entire crew get blown away and they die. And they come back. Salazar opens his eyes underwater, and you have to imagine that that area right there where they were was Devil's Triangle, because if that's where Salazar comes out of, then that must mean that is where he was killed. Which means, so Jack also went there in the past when he was younger. So we have that tidbit of information. So we know why Salazar hates Jack. Jack took him and his crew from him. He ruined his entire life. You know, he did a lot of bad things to Salazar, and so obviously Salazar wants revenge coming back. We see a bunch of clips with Barbossa and the kind of gypsy girl who's kind of telling him what's up. So you have to imagine that Barbossa doesn't necessarily know what's going on, at least in the beginning of this movie, and you can kind of tell because he's wearing his pirate outfit when he's talking to her. He has a pirate outfit, and she's saying how Salazar has broken out of the Devil's Triangle. He's going after the Pearl, the girl, and a sparrow. So he's going after the Black Pearl, which is still in the bottle. He's going after the girl, which we know she is the main female lead. She's going after Poseidon's trident. What we think we know is it's Barbossa's daughter, which I would agree with that. A lot of people have been saying that to me, and I do kind of agree that it makes a lot of sense that she could be his daughter, and I'll just give it to you. So we'll say, yes, that's his daughter. But she's telling him, you know, she's going through the list of things. And then we see a clip that's very, it kind of validates what a bunch of people were also saying, is we see Barbossa on Salazar's ship. More importantly, he's driving Salazar's ship. He's captaining it. And he's saying how he's heard stories of this legendary Spanish captain who has killed thousands of men. And, you know, it shows the clips from the earlier trailers that we've seen before. It shows Salazar's ship above Barbossa, and he jumps behind Barbossa, or he appears behind him, however that happened. And then Salazar says, no, pirates, they're pirates. And then it shows Jack. So, you know, he's a dark, scary, kind of twisted villain. And he, in a way, is evil, but in a way, he's doing what he believes is right. He is out to kill pirates. Pirates ruined him. Pirates are evil. And when Barbossa makes the statement that he's killed thousands of men, he says, no, not men, they're pirates. So it's trying to, I think, I mean, they're trying to validate, he's at least, because, villains are not villains to themselves. He's trying to validate why he does what he does. He's only killing pirates, so he's only killing bad men. And then, we see Jack in whatever the British colony is that we're going to see in future scenes in this trailer. You see it several times with Henry. You see the girl, she looks like she's going to get hung, so she must have done something wrong, and Henry saves her. You got to think Jack is helping them do that. But then we see Jack, and he's looking at the pearl in the bottle, which I mean, this is a really cool picture. Like, I really, really like this. We haven't seen the Black Pearl in a long time. In fact, it's been 10 years because we saw it at World's End, which was '07. So it's been 10 years since the Black Pearl, came. And then what I think was really interesting is we see the crew, which I would assume they're on the Black Pearl, which would be stuck in the bottle. Now, we also see the monkey that's out, next to Jack. Ironically, Jack is next to Jack. But what I find interesting about the crew is if they're trapped on the Pearl, which you have to assume because you have, and I don't remember his name, but the smaller pirate who was in Pirates 1, 2, and 3, he didn't come back for 4, he came back for 5. I want all of his crew back, honestly, and I think if and when they make a 6th, I want every original person back in this. But you have him, so he is returned, but then Gibbs is there. So maybe they'll say how, like, when he tried to free the when they tried to free the Black Pearl from the bottle at the end of 4, I guess the story would probably be that Gibbs gets stuck, like something goes wrong and he gets stuck in there because he's on that ship. Unless they just bring them back, unless I'm reading into it wrong, and they bring the Pearl back like immediately, and that's just them on the ship and there's something going down because you see kind of like waves, like an eerie environment. Could be Will coming, could be Salazar coming, like we don't really know. Then we get a really cool shot of like this glowing island, like with all these like emeralds and stuff, and you see the daughter of Barbossa, which I mean from that, this really does sell it. You got her, you got Jack, and you got Barbossa. So I mean, what we're seeing here, and we see it earlier in the trailer too, is Barbossa gets captured. Salazar lines them up because that's in the trailer, and he has like a sword up to Barbossa's throat almost, and he says like, "You're gonna help me find Sparrow," and that would most likely lead to Barbossa captaining Salazar's ship, finding Jack and his daughter because they probably because we know that Jack and Henry meet this girl and they go together to find the Trident of Poseidon, most likely because that's the only thing that could stop Salazar. So you got to assume Barbossa gets there, Salazar lets him go off, or maybe Barbossa escapes, and he goes with Jack, and that island must have something to do with Poseidon's Trident. Then you see back with the colony, with like the Jack running on the building as it's falling and as it's like crumbling. It's actually like very much an Uncharted moment if you guys are into video games. It looks like an Uncharted scene, which is really cool. Like, the action in this trailer looks great. Lots of British soldiers too. They showed like running through like a street. Like, it looks real, and that's probably when they're escaping. And then we get to the part that I'm going to talk about for maybe a little while. This is the most interesting part of the entire trailer. Is the part where it's the final adventure. Okay, now here's the thing. I know people are gonna say that this is the last one. The first thing Tyler texted me was like, it said that, and the screenwriter or whatever said like, if this is the last one, which it probably is. Here's the thing. I still don't think it's the last one. I know I'm like the biggest Pirates fan around, one of them. I really, really love this series. It's not even because I want it to continue. Like, I obviously do. I want it to go on forever. But I do think it's going to keep going. Like, here's the thing. Here's the important part, and it's not in my video, like the screenshot. It's the final adventure begins. The next word is begins after the screen. So, here's the thing. I've said it a long time to you guys in the comments. This movie is so much a test. They are testing everything in this movie. They want it to be like Pirates 1. They're going back to the basics. They're making it seem like Pirates 1, right? but while having elements of like Pirates 2, where I think they're going to do like the 2-3 kind of thing. This movie is like the most glaring. It's such a reboot that it's not a reboot, but they're trying to make it a reboot. They're putting so much focus on the younger cast. You can tell Henry is in this trailer a lot. Clearly, they want him to be a character you like, and he does have like a good personality to him. I think we will like him more than the priest and the mermaid in 4. Scrum was also in that group, by the way, on the ship too, so he's back from 4. But they're putting their faith in this younger cast. Now, Jack is in this trailer a lot, so we got to see Jack Sparrow again. Barbossa was in it a fair amount too. But this movie is a test. They want to see how it does. Johnny Depp has been, he's had some rough times over the last 2-ish years, and I'm sure Disney doesn't like it. But that doesn't mean, here's the thing, money talks louder than anything. And this movie franchise, 4 movies, have made more than $4 billion. 3 of the 4 have made over $1 billion, and At World's End made like $950 million. So these movies make about $1 billion each. Now, I can only assume the studio, Disney, thinks that because of everything that's happened, because of the delays and the script failure and having it take so long from 3 to 4 and then 4 to 5, having Johnny Depp be not the greatest figure right now, this movie, they think, could bomb. Oh, and I forgot, like the over budget. They went like $100 million over, or they went significantly over budget too. They may think this movie's not going to do well. By saying the final adventure, but more importantly it says begins, the final adventure begins, just the part the final adventure, because that's where people are going to stick to. The final adventure begins. It's beginning. If this movie doesn't do well, it will end. There will be no 6, and it'll just be 5, and it'll be done. And it makes sense from the marketing standpoint. The final adventure begins. Now you can take that as like it begins in the beginning of the movie and it ends at the end of the movie. That's what you can take it as. I take it as the final adventure begins. This is the last story. Salazar will not die. The conflict will not resolve. Jack Sparrow will not die. They can make a 6 to finish off the story in 5. This is the final adventure. Think of it as a bigger arc. It's the final adventure for 5 and 6. It's the last story they're going to tell. That is what I think they mean. I know the screenwriter said whatever. Here's the thing, if the movie makes over $1 billion, they're making a 6th, okay? Because that will stop all thoughts that Johnny Depp has like been washed up and can't do it anymore. It really will. I truly believe it. If it makes over $1 billion, they will make a 6th. So here's the thing, it's really up to the people watching the movie if a 6 will happen. If this movie does insanely good, which I think it will, because I think like they have everything going for it, besides like whatever they think is going on, whatever they think people think about Johnny Depp will not stop them from seeing it, I don't think. But like all the production kind of setbacks, those really aren't what we care about. What we've seen are 3 incredibly good trailers. Incredibly good. And those trailers make me more excited for this movie than any of the other 4. I think this will be the best one, truly. And I do think it will. I think it may be the best critically, and I hope it's the best commercially, so that they can make a 6th. The final adventure begins. That I read that as, if this movie does good, they will make a 6th, and this will be a 2-parter like 2 and 3, and in which case Tyler and I will talk about what we think is going to happen. We see like a couple funny parts with Jack Sparrow running with her, saying how she doesn't like live for danger or whatever, and he's like, well, you're not really living. You see a really eerie looking Salazar. He kind of looks weird, I'll be honest. To me he looks weird, like CGI wise, in the light when he's standing on like the beach with his men. Like, because it's so bright out, he looks just weird. Like I like when he was walking on the ship in the first trailer and everything's dark. Really makes like his flowing half face like work and look really scary. This kind of looks a little weird. And then we see at the very end another funny part with Jack and Henry, and how Henry saw her ankles, and Jack said you'd see a lot more of that if you shut up, basically. So this trailer had comedy, it had drama, it had dark parts, it had light parts. It showed a lot of backstory. You know, there were parts in it that I didn't exactly mention. We see Jack jumping between 2 pirate ships with his sword. We see that the water kind of where like the water just stops and there's like a huge hole in the ocean with like the anchor. I don't necessarily know what that is. That could be, that could have something to do with Poseidon's trident. It could be something that Will does when he comes back. Like I don't necessarily know what's up with that. So but if you guys have any ideas about any of the things that I talked about or that I didn't talk about that's in the trailer, let me know. Again, what do you guys think of the trailer in general? Put it in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Do you think this is the last Pirates movie? Let me know on that too. If you guys like this, make sure you subscribe to Podcast Now, our YouTube channel. Make sure you like this video and share it with in the Pirates of the Caribbean community. Thank you guys so much for watching all of these videos. We're not done. We're going to have more theories. We'll predict what happens in 5, and we'll talk about what we think a 6th will be. And we're going to do that before this movie comes out, so there's no tampering, and then we'll obviously talk about the movie when it's out. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next Pirates video.